Welcome everybody to Rendezvous with Jamie McGlue, episode 32. I have a special guest, my brother Mark. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you feeling, Mark?
Well, Jamie, I feel.
Firstly, I just want to say it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Last episode was episode 16 in Venice.
Was it Venice?
Yeah.
Whoa. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought it was Naples. No.
So you've been up to some work recently. What have you been up to?
I've been.
You write poetry, right?
Well, I was about to ask you what you've been up to.
Right.
Like, you
Just
work.
interrupting you and
Like,
confusing.
could you give me a poem, for example?
Okay, sure. A
Like,
poem.
what's 3 divided by 18?
What's 3 divided by
Divided by
18?
2.
Okay. 3 divided by 18 divided by 2 would be 1.29.
Whoa. Well, man.
So,
Good at this maths. So, Mark. Jamie.
You gave it away, maybe.
No, but it's like anyone who's listening.
Now, our
won't be able to
precious
distinguish.
guest, their time is equally precious.
True. Yeah.
Now,
So we haven't like planned anything. So
oh god, no.
no. So what do you think? What would you like to explore in this moment?
Well, probably something precious. I think let's commune with the audience. So there's someone who's watching it right now in the future, and they're going to retroactively, telepathically communicate to us what the theme should be because all time is an illusion.
Right. So right now.
So we'll both close our eyes and then
connect to the first person who's viewing.
And then we'll say 3, 2, 1, and then we'll both just say whatever's being telepathically communicated, and then we'll choose the best one.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right, ready?
Are you going to count down or?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Ready? Tuning in.
You're the host. Yeah, I'm tuning in.
Tuning in. All right. 3, 2, 1. Animals. What'd you say?
Fruit.
Fruit. Oh yeah.
Fruity animals.
Fruity animals.
Animalistic fruit.
Animalistic fruit. This is gonna be
the fruit of animals. What do you think? It's of vegetarianism. We already did it.
Well, I mean, I think fruit is that's a pretty deep metaphorical subject. Yeah. The fruit of your labor.
Yep. The fruit of spontaneous, nonsensical, conversation.
Indeed.
Let's just talk to the internet with the zero plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the fruit of effort. So someone putting in the effort to watch this. Someone putting in the effort to wake up and get out of bed in the morning. So, I think let's roll with that. So say fruit. That makes a decent amount of sense.
No, makes sense. I think the first thing to mention about animals would be like that, people say, are humans animals or not?
Right. Give us an animal noise.
I don't think bananas make any noise. Well, that's a question. What fruit makes noises? Are we talking about animals?
Yeah. Or both?
I thought you were talking about animals. Okay.
No, I am.
Me too. Okay. So let's go. What?
Crocodile.
Exactly. Now your turn. Give me one.
Okay.
No, school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nice. Okay, what about
That would be a mother bear lamenting her child's death.
that would be yes, could be. I was thinking a mother bear in heat, but similar thing.
Okay.
I guess.
What
Depends.
about I saw this on the news and it's true
That would be a lower consciousness Homo sapiens.
correct. Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Let's see. Now, could you give me a higher consciousness Homo sapiens, or should I?
Oh,
Or should you? Or should we?
well, let's both do it.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
enough.
pretty good.
Okay.
Now, if there's one thing you would impart on this, whoever's watching or listening,
Yeah.
before, say they're about to go, they're like, they're just eating like a crumpet at home, and they're like fitting
Good
it in, and then
choice.
they're about to
Excellent.
go out into the day to go worship some deity or meet a friend or something.
Yeah.
If there's one thing valuable, worthwhile to remember or focus on, you would encourage someone to think about right now to replace whatever other self-deprecating thoughts might be ricocheting around their brain. What would you
wizard.
What do you reckon what's a worthwhile thought that someone could just put in their pocket, put in their mind pocket?
Mind pocket. I like that. I think probably a worthwhile thought would be your question. It would be like, what thought should be in my head, or what would be a worthwhile thought to have? That itself is a thought. It's a question. Questions are usually good. Like, similar to, is there something I am forgetting? Or is there a question I should be asking? Which is a great question. Or like,
To what purpose?
or because it's kind of similar. I like that question. To what purpose? Sounds like it's like,
I didn't say porpoise. I'm not talking about animals.
directly translated out of Latin. Someone who's like,
To what porpoise, Jamie?
to what porpoise? To the pauper within, who can become enriched through mindfulness.
Indeed.
The like Eckhart Tolle talks about that kind of thing of kind of just being like, what is my state of consciousness at this moment, and just checking in. And often we just take it for granted, but by turning inward on that, you can actually often maybe you're great. Oh, okay, good. You'll enjoy it more. But often it's like, oh yeah, there's negative thoughts ricocheting around, and then just the awareness that there is something is like already huge progress. But so yeah, like what thought should I be having, or what would be a worthwhile thought right now? That would be my suggestion. And what if there was any animal or fruit or thought that the listener could put in their, mental zippy pocket?
Well,
what do you reckon?
First of all, I
button
would just
pocket.
say that I think, that's a really good point. And thinking about thinking, having the thought that you even have thoughts, and not just going along with the emotional roller coaster of however you're feeling, but being like, oh, wait a second, I'm thinking and I'm having these thoughts which are making me have feelings. But to some degree, we are in control of our thoughts. For instance, we can be super negative, so that's definitely control. We could also be positive. It's just we have that less of a habit to do so. But we know we have control over our thoughts because we can choose to be super negative if we want to.
Should we?
No, we should be super positive.
Why?
Because a happy man is a rich man. Man as in mankind, For all you porpoises out there. I don't want to trigger any porpoises. I would say, so worthwhile thought. I think, probably pretty similar. Probably in the sense of that the thing we are all after is really a state of being, which is happiness would be an approximation for that, but that we chase it through things in this world. But ultimately, there are plenty of billionaires who presumably, by the looking like Senator Palpatine, post evil transformation, some of them aren't that happy, I'm sure. Or maybe so there's some people who could have all the riches in the world but still be unsatisfied. And then there's someone who has very little and they're cheerful. So I think ultimately a good thought, something worthwhile someone should remember would probably be, is it possible for me to be unreasonably happy right now in this moment? Could I just sort of fake it until I make it, decide, be like, hey, fuck it. Why don't I just, just be happy? Like right now, can I just accept everything for what it is? Take a breath and say, yeah, that's good enough. I'm happy. I'm happy with this. And in that moment when you're happy, what else really takes precedence over that in importance? If we can be happy, have we not won the game of life for that moment?
Indeed. I like it. A lot of people, the initial, there's a knee-jerk resistance to it. But I think upon closer examination, you'll find that, Yeah, I mean, you can do that yourself, but like that, that resistance is not necessary or wise. Like, what, yeah, pursue that. Why not just be unreasonably happy? But then sometimes, like that resistance is kind of like a parasite. It's not really you. It's not your soul. It's like a more superficial thing that's become part of yourself. Like we often have this, depending on your culture or your family or whatever. Some people have it more than others, but there's this kind of like these ideas that get attached to us, and we think they're ourselves. We become part of the ego, you could call it, but it's not really. Like people can and do all the time let go of that. So it was not you. You know, you're still here. You're not dead, but that thing's gone. But also that it's like this. I think certain people like the identity structure somehow gets threatened by the idea that you could just be happy right now. No, but I have these problems, you know, and it's really serious, and it makes me really important. I mean, I didn't say that. It's not about me. It's about the problems that I have, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I think.
No offense.
People, I mean, we're all guilty of it. I'd say. You know.
Oh yeah.
At some point, sort of enjoying our misery a bit too much. I guess it's easy to be miserable. That's the problem. And easy things tend to be enjoyable because if subconsciously we've decided to be miserable, then it's easy to be a success because that's
that's a good point.
You know, you're like,
yeah,
I just tick the box. Like,
I want to be a massive success.
Or we're in control because if we choose to be miserable, you know, a lot of us women, there's fear in the background. You want to be in control it to some degree. So people choose misery and like, well, they're kind of focusing on that and it's predictable and whatever. But, you know, what do you think stands between most people and being able to just decide to be happy and be like, oh, whatever happens, if like X person says something rude to me, I'm just going to take a breath, give them a kind sort of like merry look in the eye and be like, just have forgiveness and just roll with it and have a sense of humor, like, or whatever challenge might come up. What do you think stands between most people and being able to just be happy unconditionally? Because surely everyone just wants to be happy, isn't that like that would solve so many problems in the world if everyone was just like, oh, you know what? I'm actually like poor and homeless, but like, I'm stoked. I'm alive. Incredible. So what stands between people in general?
I say in general, it's Carl. You know,
it's what?
Carl.
Well, that guy's toxic.
Yeah. Bad news. Apparently, like like the warehouse in Finglas, whatever this lad works, right?
Right.
They just like can't keep workers because they'll just disappear by coincidence while Carl's on shift, you know. And
he eats them or something.
I don't know if he eats them, but like he definitely like takes a nibble. Yeah.
Right.
Does that count?
I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I got to say, like, I don't want to play good cop here, but I think just shout out to Carl. You're like an awesome dude. I was just making a joke. Shout out to Carl. Hey, Carl, what stands between you and your happiness in this very moment right now? Probably not much.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Probably not.
You have my permission to be happy and successful.
Me too.
In this moment.
100%. And on the bright side, you know, now you've set the pattern. I think no one's going to be taking a nibble out of you because that's like the least thing they would expect to do because they're on the back foot.
Right. So
I'd say take a nibble out of God's great sandwich, Carl, and just go for it.
What's another animal noise you got for us?
Okay. Another animal noise would be this Homo sapien answering your real question. So I would say what stands between most people and their happiness? Their mind. And basically there's, you know, like for the eye rollers in the room, enjoy. For the sky rollers in the Zoom, chosen. Then I'd say like a little bit of introspection will reveal that you are not your mind. You can be here with no thoughts, so that is ultimately there's like a sense of self which was useful for a period of time through history. Now there's a transition where it's not as necessary. We're getting so aware of like our understanding of the universe is expanding so much that we're able to be aware of like the difference between the voice in my head, which is extremely totally necessary to like I'm setting up this podcast or whatever, or sorry, you're setting up this podcast, Jamie, or whatever. Then you need your mind, to solve 21 divided by 85, which was 1.8, right? Or whatever you said.
1.48.
Hell impressive, man. I can't have 1.45. That's
That's a gift.
You need your mind, but it's like there's a sense of self there, and so there's a momentum, and like any organism, living or not, and you could say it's kind of there's a life to it. It wants to continue. It wants to keep living and growing, and so there's like, but you need to kind of, it's almost like a dream. You have to be aware. It's like that movie, like Inception, where when they're in the dream, all the dream characters start getting like angry. Oh, wasn't it like the lucid dreaming thing?
Oh yeah.
Pointing out, and I think it's
Robert Waggoner, Lucid Dreaming, great book.
Gateway to the Inner Self. Yeah. But like he'd say to people, oh yeah, but this is a dream. You're not real. And some of the dream characters would seem to get like antsy, like, what are you talking about? This is a dream. This isn't a dream or whatever.
Yeah, I think one of them like, what is it like, pinches him or something. He's like, how real is this? Or like, jabs him with a pin or something. He's like, ow. He's like,
yeah,
now we're real.
But
like,
yeah. So I say, if you want to go really deep, it's the mind. That's kind of why. But basically, you can be unreasonably happy right now. You just for no reason, like you said, just which is also kind of like the Way of the Peaceful Warrior. He talks about that, right? Dan Millman, yeah. Great book, and yeah, just why not? And what's the key to getting through the mind? Some deep. I flicked open the Power of Now the other day. It's like the key to dissolving the illusion of the false self and the mind is ending the delusion of time, because time and mind are two sides of the same coin. The mind is always thinking about narratives of past, future, or imaginary time, and if you just live in the now, you can be happy.
Interesting. Yeah.
What's stopping you now, Mark?
Yeah.
Jamie?
Well, interesting you say that, because I was going to say that memory would be probably maybe what stands between people and happiness, because you're thinking about something else, but we can't be happy for as long as we've forgotten about the idea of happiness. So when it's gone into the unconscious. So if you are saying, like, this happened to me just the other day, which is hence me sort of bringing it up. I was just like, wait a second, I can just be unreasonably happy, like in that book, that idea of just happy without any reason or like justification, just I decide to be happy, so I am, and be like, okay, well then from that place, but effectively that's a successful state of being if you're happy. But I had to remember that was a goal of mine, to be happy.
Yeah.
And when there's all these distractions in this world, like some notification from Instagram or whatever it is, maybe if it's even just like a song or a noise or something happens, someone says something, oh, I was meant to do this, all the play of life around us, then forgetting happiness, or just to be happy in this moment. So like that connection between memory and being happy. Now, we were talking about fruit. That was meant to be the thing, right? So would you think that happiness is potentially the sweetest fruit of the tree of life? Is there a higher, more virtuous
happiness,
fruit?
or we could say joy or whatever. Euphoria maybe. But let's say happiness. Okay, happiness. Well, what's sweet? Happiness is probably the sweetest, but on a deep level, all these things are aspects of each other. They're like the kind of other. They're like personalities of the one character or something,
The thousand shades of the color.
Yes, or facets of the jewel, different sides of the same jewel, as they say. But I think happiness, peace, just peace. It might not be like, oh wow, I'm smiling ear to ear, so happy, but just like this feeling of just there are no problems, there is no movement, there is no impulse to escape or advance to something, there's just this nothingness, a state of non-doing. You could say being, but then it makes it sound like you're doing something, but just you're here and nothing's happening. And, you know, you're okay with that. You're just here. That is delicious. You know.
I guess existence is the first and final fruit, probably. You know, from God's mind tree.
Oh, yeah.
The
Isn't that a song? The first and final fruit?
Yeah.
Brackets of God's mind tree.
Do you remember that? Or?
I think so. I'm not sure if I remember the chords, Jamie.
Oh, yeah, you could probably play it if you wanted to remember.
Was that in E or C, or was it G or
I think it was
D?
G Mixolydian.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
C harp.
Yeah.
Wait, just to be clear, which song did you want me to play?
I thought you wanted me to play something about animals. I can't remember.
Yeah.
The first and final animal. Of
The first and last animal is existence from God's mind tree. It's the divine vinyl playing song round and round for you and me. Well, the first and final fruit of God's mind tree,
it's growing so fast and slow, high and low. God's memory,
God's memory, God's mind tree.
Wow,
That's a
man.
good one.
Was
that Bob Dylan or was
that was it was the animal of the fruit of some genius or other.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, it's your podcast, but you want to wrap it up? Short and fierce, like an animal, or
Short
a fruit?
and fierce like an animal, yeah. Well, one important thing to think about fruit is in the Bhagavad Gita, which is for a lot of yogis, transcendental yogis, not like yoga mums getting sexy butts to, you know, stay in shape and keep it vigorous. Are you looking for an encyclopedia of yoga mums?
Looking for the
The Bhagavad Gita. Very good.
Available now on planet Earth.
So effectively, it has this idea in that, which is quite interesting at first, where it says, well, it's interesting in general, but at first it was very interesting to me because I didn't quite understand it. Saying you have effectively, you know, you can look into it to get the long and short of it, but it's a holy scripture. It's a conversation that's sort of played out, a poem, conversation. It's about a battle, and it's all metaphor and allegory, really. But it's, you know, God, and he's helping these other characters, and it's all meant to be some sort of illustration about how to live and what is wise. And for those who want to learn, you could look into this story and you'll learn things. It talks about fruit, saying you do not have the right to the fruits of your labor. You only have a right to the labor itself or the works. So if you were like, I write music, it would be, to bring in that example, it would be, you do not have a right necessarily to the fruit being the song, but the process of writing the song. You can claim that. So in your focus, your consciousness, you should be focusing on doing something for the sake of it, and not doing it thinking about the outcome. Oh, I'm going to get glory. I'm going to get riches. I'm going to get this or that, which is cool. But if you want something like that, like that's your dream, is, whatever it might be, that you have a right to enjoy the process, but don't get hung up on the fruit, the outcome, because sometimes that's then going to rob you of the joy that's actually going to bring it. So just focusing on the process. So maybe speak to that, Jamie. What do you think? Would you agree? Do you think there's a subtlety there that, I think a lot of people are thinking about the future, but if you enjoy the process of getting there, enjoy the process of growing that fruit, instead of just eating that fruit, but growing the fruit, maybe that's why we're here on planet Earth. I don't know.
Great question, that. Thank you for asking it.
Mark, sorry. Yeah.
I thought you said okay. Speak to Mark. Okay. Yeah, definitely. It's like the journey, not the destination. Or it's both, but more so the journey, because the journey is now. Wow. Yeah. Thank you. I guess like enjoying creating stuff. Like if you're focused on having like the destination, then it depends. These are all just words. It depends how you take them. But it's I think probably a common mistake to allow in a feeling of insufficiency by trying to reach dreams, and I attain it, and then now I've got it. Okay, now what now? And then okay, what's the next thing to get? And so you're in the mindset of trying to future oriented. So you've got your identity from the past, and then you've got your salvation in the future. But instead, just have both in the now, and just enjoy building the sandcastle. Kevin Trudeau was saying, like I'm going to build a sandcastle. The little kid's not excited about having a sandcastle, but about building the sandcastle, about the process, and that really I think is the joy, and that is the path of wisdom. I think is realizing like you can have it all, you can have both, but it's about like first things first, and when you focus on the work itself, or the labor, or the play, the fun, whatever you want to call it, but the action, then, and you enjoy that, then the fruits will be given to you like a lot of the time anyway. But it's, not putting not putting the cart before the banana, or whatever animal it was. Banana. Yeah. Anything to add?
Yeah, well...
Would you want to speak to with, or any other preposition?
The with too that I would speak on about would be that what we're just talking about in this whole idea of the fruit being the outcome of something, and then the work or the labor being the process, and learning to enjoy the process, and don't focus that much on the fruit. Know that what you want, but enjoy the process of cultivating that. Very similar, I think, to the idea of giving a gift versus receiving a gift. I want to get a gift for Christmas, or I want to give a gift. The beauty of giving, because we all want to receive, so that if we can give, we know that someone's going to receive, and we can have that experience of joy. Maybe that's what we're meant to be doing here. So the real fruit of life will be what we all create in that spirit of giving, to live our lives in happiness. I can say I'm going to be as happy as possible and as beautiful as possible. I'm just going to, one person on the street, I'm just going to do something unexpected and just make their day. Or what goes around comes around. I can't guarantee that someone's going to do that for me, but I can guarantee that it's going to happen for them if I give. Yeah. So maybe the real fruit is, the real point of fruit is to cultivate, to give, and then we can all enjoy as our consciousness rises in that spirit of giving and love.
Yeah. The tree needs to focus on growing the fruit in order for the human to be able to enjoy the fruit. Right. And nature is doing both things. But I think, you can, whatever you're doing, if you're like in some situation which you don't really like, and you're kind of, I wish I could get out of beyond this, just any situation, just by kind of having that thing of unreasonable happiness and just doing the best you can, and just kind of make changes as you can. But if you can't control it, just like Epictetus says, you just go with the flow. If you can't control it, it's your duty to just not think about it and just be with it, just let it flow. But yeah, like giving, I like that. Like, so giving, then you know someone is receiving, and that I think when you give at Christmas, you can enjoy receiving, but you can't enjoy receiving if you haven't given, you know. Or and in general, like, I think if you are giving love to people, then you can feel comfortable to receive love. Not always, but like, you know, like it's kind of like, I think it'll help. It's prerequisite, I'd say, probably. And like a little poem. I think it was either this whale or this orange, which I encountered on the road once. Told me
Really?
it's like an excerpt from it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like it's called "Give and Take" because giving comes first, like a smile for a stranger or gold for the purse. From the purse, something like that. You know. And I thought that was very deep for an orange and or whale. You know, so it always stuck with me.
They're always like that. That's why they're in the sea, because
Yeah,
it's a more spiritual place
definitely,
than the land.
definitely. And it's much easier to be unreasonably happy when you're in the sea, surrounded by like talking oranges. You know,
Yeah.
just a bit unfair, I think.
What do you got to remember? Yep. Happiness, Jamie.
That's right. It came back to me. Memory. I remembered. I reintegrated. That my members have become unified in the oneness of the moment.
Now, before we
Yeah,
close this
let's
up,
do some
we're going to do a magic trick
gypsy magic.
with the audience on YouTube. Now, you can do this as well if you're just listening, but if you're just listening to the audio, you're going to have to be more comprehensively psychic. Hope you haven't been drinking the tap water, otherwise you're at an unfair advantage, all that calcification in your pineal gland. All right, are you ready? So, guess which card this is. This is the magic trick. So you guess, and then I show you. And if you're right, you're magic. It's the Queen of Hearts.
Very good. Now let's do it ourselves, right?
Okay.
So if we go a bit of a gentle shuffle between friends, all right?
Yeah. Just don't shuffle it too much.
No, I wouldn't.
I had the cards in a certain order.
I wouldn't do anything like that. I think it's Ace of Hearts.
Yep, I'd say it's a 7 of 6s, probably.
Now just give the audience a bit of dramatic irony.
Yep.
So would you say it is the 7 of 6s?
Yep.
I think it's the Ace of Hearts.
7 of clubs.
7 of
I
clubs.
mean,
Okay. Let's see here.
Yep. 6 of clubs.
6 of clubs.
Just like I said.
That's what you said?
Yep.
Yeah, close
Oh,
enough.
wait, no, I said 7 of 6s.
Yeah.
6. I meant 6 of 7s, which I meant 6 of clubs. That was pretty close.
That's good.
Okay, we'll try one more.
All right.
So, I got 2 cards here, which the audience can see. Okay. Now, if you look on the back of them, which
Luckily,
you
I'm
can't
blind
see
enough.
it.
I can't see this. I can look at the
Okay, now you
audience.
can see them. So, this card plus this card
Yeah.
equals X.
Okay.
X plus 3 is 15.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what are these cards?
5 and 7.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no.
Oh.
A 3 and a 9.
But the audio people wouldn't know that.
Pretty close.
Nah,
Pretty
well,
close.
Too late.
Either way, so you could try those magic tricks at home, or the ultimate magic trick is magic tricking your ego and brain into being happy. So let's try it, just rehearse it once more. So it's like, oh man, my life's so hard. Everything's so hard. I try this and it doesn't work. Blah, 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 blah,
Hey
blah.
man, I understand, and you're right. As your friend, I'm going to agree with whatever you just said, and reinforce that
You
negative
being my
feeling.
mind?
I thought I was my mind. Or who's talking? Am I me? Who
And
are
then,
you?
and then it's like, stop, pause, breathe, be happy. And then so we'll be like, okay, actually, I'm going to choose to just take a breath and be like, you know what? I give my permission to myself to be happy for no apparent reason, because it's just going to make everything a lot simpler. And why not, after all? Who's going to stop me from giving myself permission to be happy? God? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, and like that another Kevin Trudeau thingy. That I want to feel good. Having that as your goal, I want to feel good. I want to feel as good as I can feel. I want to feel as good as I can feel and keep feeling better.
Indeed.
That's an interesting question. Like, I want to feel as good as I can feel. Like, right now, like, how good can I feel right
Mm.
now? That's a very interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
Not like in the future, but like right now. Like, aren't you interested? Like even if you're cynical, but okay, yeah, great. Even if I'm really pessimistic, I think it's really low. But what's the top of the? Can I be a bit more than I am right now? Is how happy can I be? How good can I feel right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so let's find out.
Remember that we just need to remember we all want to be happy. We want to feel good. And then in that remembering, just like gratitude, once you think of like, you're like, okay, I want to feel grateful. Just by thinking about gratitude, you become grateful basically because you're like, okay, what's 5 things I'm grateful for? My house, I don't know, my family, my friends, this plant, the sky looks nice and blue today. So just like that, happiness. Find something you can be happy for, and then you'll feel better. Easier said than done, but also sometimes easier done than said. Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
So on that note, I would say
Thanks for having me, Mark,
thanks for
on your
having me,
podcast.
Jamie. Yeah, you're welcome. And if anyone else has a podcast or a magic trick that they want to put in the comments,
Yep.
then just
We
send
will-
us a letter
And we will
and
convert into like
a frequency pitch.
Yep.
And then we'll write a song about it, and you can put the lyrics, what you think should be to the song, in the description.
And we'll turn it into
comment.
a collage of like a fruit-headed animal, like a therianthrope, but with fruit instead of like a human head or whatever.
Bananas for fingers, minds for eyes.
But does the sky's the foundation, and you know, the ground's the limit.
That reminds me of that song that Orange Whale wrote, but we don't have time. Maybe next.
Maybe next.
Maybe we could get the Orange Whale. On
Yeah.
here.
Yep. I think she's pretty free.
Yeah.
Really, really free. You know.
Not
Yeah.
like that. Well,
Not like that.
no, we're both taken anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
Happily.
Well, stay happy.
Stay unreasonably so.
Get happy. I give you permission. I give myself permission. Hope
Thank
you
you.
enjoy. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being me,
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
so to speak.